Hey, welcome to your Aries horoscopes for the week ending the 18th of May. It's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. This week we're kicking off the week with Mother's Day. So hopefully you have wonderful celebrations, and if you can't be with your kids, celebrate you. Throw your own little mini celebration for yourself. Go out and spoil yourself. I know it's not as much fun as having somebody else do it for you, but it's a lot more fun than wallowing because you can't be with your kids that day. Because, sometimes that just happens for various different reasons. We have a lot going on this week. We're going to start with our focus on Mercury. Mercury is leaving Aries this week, but of course, creating a challenge on his way out as he gets closer and closer to Taurus. He moves into a square with Pluto. So, we have Mercury's focus on long-term goals. Pluto's focus is in your day-to-day schedule, and Pluto is retrograde at this particular point. So with that focus being on your day-to-day schedule, it does kind of make things feel like you don't really have control over your schedule. Things are just happening, and there's really nothing you can do about it. That's always very, very difficult. At the beginning of the week, Mercury moves into a square with the moon also about, I would say, Monday or so, which creates a more of a challenge, specifically when this problem is bringing up a lot of triggers from the past where you've had this issue before. So working through the triggers, always a good idea. You definitely don't want the triggers to react to or cause the reaction to what's going on, especially, depending on what the situation is. I mean, obviously, if you're triggered by something from childhood and you're at work, and you lash out at somebody that doesn't really understand where that trigger comes from, it probably won't work out very well for you. So it's good to have a little extra patience there, take a few deep breaths, separate what was from what is, and kind of deal with the situation appropriately as much as you possibly can. Wednesday is the day that Mercury leaves. So we are going to still feel those effects a little tiny bit until Thursday when he starts to move further away from Aries. We also have Mars in Aries, your ruling planet, bringing all kinds of beautiful energy towards those long-term goals also. And I kind of feel like in a sense, Mercury's challenges are actually because Mars is in Aries. Mars is a tremendous energy. And every Aries that I know sort of moves on this plane that nobody else can. They're just constantly going from one thing to another. So these challenges that Mercury is creating is actually just a little bit of a reminder that yes, you have the energy boost, but slow down a little bit. If you're moving too fast, you don't see the bumps in the road, your chariot could topple. I mean, all the craziness going on. Mars really isn't interacting with any planets until the very end of the week when the moon moves into opposition with Mars on Friday and Saturday when it's in Virgo. And the moon's focus really is on the past. So we're really dealing with issues from the past or issues that you've dealt with before kind of rearing their ugly heads again, right? So obviously in this situation, you don't want to do the same thing that you did before that didn't work, right? You want to change things up a little bit. And also, this is a really good opportunity to really look at whether or not this is happening because you've fallen into a rut or a pattern. I know Aries are like, no, we don't do ruts, we don't do patterns. Yes, you do. Everybody does. It's a prime opportunity for you to take a look at, is this a reoccurring pattern? Because if it is a reoccurring pattern, one, there's probably an emotional root attached to it. It allows you to kind of understand that and separate from that. But also, if this is a pattern, it's going to keep going in the same way over and over again. So if you want to be successful, you need to break the pattern. So be aware of that as well. Now, last thing that I have for you guys is Neptune. Neptune is 29 degrees Pisces. That means that one more degree and bam, she would be actually in Aries. Now, that's not actually going to happen this year. Okay, because Neptune is going to go retrograde before she moves into Aries. So possibly next year we'll see Neptune actually going fully into Aries. But in the meantime, because she's so close to that cusp there, the sun is coming through the blinds here and creating these weird little lines on my face here. Because she's so close to Aries, you can feel her influence and her grand sextile with Uranus, with Jupiter, with the sun, with Pluto is actually really helpful right now because her focus is on finances. This is all about generating money. And Pluto is still focused on your day-to-day schedule, while Uranus, Jupiter, and the sun are all focused on your career. So this is also kind of interesting because again, go back to Mercury's challenges as it's leaving. It has a challenge with Pluto specifically. And it's like you just don't have time for those particular goals. This could be why your career, your generating of income, you're even possibly in terms of money growth and your financial goals are just a little bit more important right now. It seems that everything is going into that, and there's just not a lot of room for any other goals to really come into play here. So again, it's all about perception. Honestly, the way that I look at this is it is all about perception. You can you can get mad about the fact that you can't do what you want, or you can broaden your view there and see what is working and where your focus should be best um, directed at this time. Because those other goals, of course, you can work on them, but you want to get the capital together first, right? So that's what I have for you guys this week. It's an awful lot of stuff going on, but that's okay. You guys can handle it. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. I will see you guys next week. In the meantime, you guys, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Make it a great week, and I will see you next week.